Hello everyone, so we are on the third part of dictionary in Python, and in this video we'll be doing some sample programs as well as some sample output questions. Okay, so let's get started. Now the first question we plan to do is on your screen there. It says write a program to read the product name and price of n products and store it in a dictionary where product name is the key and its price is the value. Okay, so display the total value of all the products. So first of all, let me teach you how do you get data from the user. Okay, so because it says n products, let us do the first thing, or the first thing I do is ask the user what's the value of n. Okay, so I'm going to be asking the user enter the value of n. So let the user be supplying me the value of n, and because I know it's an integer, I need to be writing int before the input. Otherwise, we know that input function reads everything as a string. Okay, now what will I do? I will have to keep product name. Sorry, I will have to read product name and price n times. So if I have to do something n times, what would I want to do? Put it into a loop. So I write, let's say for I in, and I want to loop it n times. So what do we write? We write range in bracket n. So if I do this, how many times is the loop going to be executed? N times. Okay, n times, what do you want to ask from the user? The product name and price. So I write p name is equal to input and a message to the user saying enter the product name. Correct? Okay, I ask him to enter or her to enter the product name. I have it in a variable called p name. After the product name, I need to take the price. So I say price is equal to, and because I know the price could be having decimal places, I'm going to make use of the function called float. Okay, and I ask enter the price. Okay, so I have the product name and I have the price. Now these are just in variables. I need to transfer it to a dictionary. So let's assume I have a dictionary called products or product. Let me call it products. Okay. Then how do you put values into the dictionary? You give the name of the key. The name of the key here is the product name it said. So I'm going to take p name is equal to, and you assign the value. What's the value here is the price. Okay. But before that, I will have to create a dictionary, an empty dictionary called products. And how do we create an empty dictionary? Is by putting opening and closing curly brackets. Okay, so now what is happening in this loop? In this loop, you are going to be continuously reading, all the elements of the, what you say, from the user and storing it into a dictionary. Okay, now my dictionary consists of the key value pair. What is the key? The product name. And what's the value? The price. Okay, now I want to sum up all the values. Okay, did we learn any function which returns or gives me all the values? Yes, the name of the dictionary dot keys. Okay, so I'm going to use that. I use a variable called v, which will stand for all the values, and I write v is equal to product dot values in, sorry, not product, but products dot values. But if you remember, I told you the values function, the keys function, and the items function returns an object of dict underscore values, dict underscore keys, and dict underscore items. So we're going to just convert it to a list. So I have the list of values. Okay, so now all the values are stored in a variable called v. All the values only. What is the question asking you to do? To find the total of the values. So I write sum, or let's say just s is equal to, I'm going to be making use of a function called sum, which we have learned with the list operations, because v now currently is a list. So I have a function called sum, which can sum up all the elements in a list. So my list is currently v, which is nothing but consisting of all the values of the dictionary. I found the sum, and finally I print the total value or sum value, total value of all products. Okay, the total value of all products. And where is it stored? In a variable named as S. Okay, so here I would want you to concentrate on how do we read at runtime during the execution of the program. How do I read something into a dictionary? And then I just got all the values into a list. Then use the sum function with the list to get the total value, and I'm displaying it. Okay, so let's just run the program. Okay, it's asking me number of elements. I'm just going to say 3. Product name, let's say soap. Price is 2. Product name, let's say cream. Price is 5. And product name, let's say shampoo. Price is 7. So I should get 7 plus 5, which is 12. 12 plus 2, which is 14 as my answer. And it says the total value of all products is 14. Is that clear? So remember, we have learned 2 things here. One is, how do I create a dictionary during runtime? Create an empty dictionary and just keep storing in values. And finally, how do I just get the values out of it? By using the function called values. Finding the sum, we already know the concept with what we learned in the list chapter. Clear? Okay, so let's go to my next question. Okay, let's read the question now. It says, write a program to read the country name and their capitals and store it in a dictionary where country name is the key and the capital is the value. So it's similar to our previous question. In the previous question, we read product name and price. Here we're going to be reading country name and capital. But what is it expecting us to do? I'm supposed to be displaying the country names and the capitals in the alphabetical order of country names. Okay, fine. So let me just copy basic things from here. Okay, now enter the value of n remains the same. I am going to be changing the name of the dictionary to countries. I'm not asking for product name. I'm asking for, what am I asking for? Country name. Fine. Okay, I've asked for country name and I'm not asking for price. I'm asking for capital, let's say. So I call it cap. And because it's not a float, I just need an input. And instead of enter the price, I will say enter the capital. Okay, then I have to store it in the dictionary. So how do I store it in the dictionary? I say countries. Okay, what's the key? The country name. And what's the value to the country name or the key is capital. Okay, fine. Okay, now pay attention. The user could be entering the country name or the capital in lowercase and uppercase. And in that scenario, when we're trying to do sorting, all uppercase alphabets have less ASCII value than lowercase alphabets, correct? So you'll have all uppercase alphabets sorted and then the lowercase. We don't want that to happen. So what do? As I store it into the dictionary, I could convert it to one of the cases. I would prefer to convert it to upper. So in whatever form the country name is entered by the user, mixed form or lower or upper, I'm just converting it to upper. Similarly, to have a uniformity, I'm also converting the capital to upper. Capital to upper was not required as much because we are going to be sorting on the basis of country name, but still I'm just keeping it for, neatness sake. Okay, now I want only the keys out. We've learned a function called keys, okay? And then I'm storing it into, and what do my keys represent? Country name, so let me call it as CN. So CN is equal to the name of the dictionary, that is countries dot keys. Okay, so I get all the keys out, but I want it as a list. So you remember in our example in the previous video, we wrote list, and I told you the reason why there. Okay, list and country names. Otherwise, it's returning something which is of type dict underscore keys, but we want it as a list so we could do sorting. So I'm doing it there. Okay, now I'm going to sort. We have an inbuilt method called sort with a list. So I'm saying cn dot sort. And because I want to do it in alphabetical order, I'm not writing reverse is equal to true. Otherwise, for reverse alphabetical order, we have written reverse is equal to true. Now remember, my list, which is a CN, is now already sorted, but it only consists of the keys. Now what will I do? I will pick up each key and its corresponding value from the dictionary is going to be displayed along with it. So I have to pick up each key means traverse through the list. So I write for X in CN. So what will CN do? We'll pick up each and every country. Sorry, what will X do? We'll pick up each and every country from CN. And then what do? I print that country name. Along with that, I want to print its capital. So I go back to the dictionary and I put square bracket and I write X. So if the country name is India, countries in bracket India would give me the capital of India. We know this is the way that we access elements of a dictionary. And we are done to run the program now. Okay, it's asking me the value of N. Let's say I'm going to be entering 3 countries. Okay, let me enter India in any form, doesn't matter, it's going to be capitalizing it, and I write Delhi or New Delhi, it's up to you. Then let me write Japan. Okay, or let me write China first, okay, just to change the order, otherwise ing would already be sorted. And I write Beijing, and let me write Japan and Tokyo. Okay, now what order do you plan to see all of them? First I should have China, then India, then Japan. Okay, can you see? First I got China, then India, and then Japan. Clear? So we've made use of keys function here. We have made use of values function in the previous example, and you know the reason why keys were used here and why values were used here. And then obviously once we put it into a list, we have made use of some list manipulation functions. Okay. Now let's go to the next question. Okay, let's read this question. It says write a program to read the salesman name and their quarterly sales in the year from the user and store it in a dictionary where salesman name is the key and the sales made for that particular year is going to be the value. And they've just shown you one example there. What do they mean by it? And what are we supposed to do? Display the name of the salesman along with the highest sales made by the salesman. Okay, so the reading part, I'm just going to be copying it from the previous program. Okay, but I have to make slight changes. Okay, I'm going to be asking him because there are many salesmen, so value of N. Okay, because it's salesman, let me call the dictionary as salesman. Yes, I'm going to be reading this salesman's name. So enter the country, no, enter the salesman name. And I'm going to be entering his sales, correct? So his sales, but remember, is a list. How do I read a list? Either I use a loop 5 times or 4 times in this scenario because I'm supposed to be reading 4, or I'm just making use of the eval function to make it easier. So I'll say enter the sales made in the year. Okay, or enter this 4 sales or sales made. Okay, we know that we have to enter 4 values. Okay. Now, if you're confused here that how will the user know to enter 4 values, what you could probably do is have a nested loop here, another loop, which appears, which is done 4 times, and you add values into the list. That's up to you. Okay. And then I have salesman of, the key is the salesman name, is equal to, and what is the value? The variable sales is the value. Okay, so now here with this, I have read whatever I need to read from the user. Okay, so I have S name. What is the name? Salesman is the name of my, okay, here a bracket is missing. Okay. Then this is the reading part of it. Now what do I want to do? I have to go through each of the salesman's details and find out what is that particular salesman's highest value. Okay, so I'm using another loop now for X in what do you say, the name of the dictionary, that is salesman. Okay, so now X will get each and every key of the salesman. What do I want to do? I want to take his list of values and find out what's the highest. Okay, so can I just say print X, okay, which is his name. And we have learned a function called max that I can use with a list. And I say salesman square bracket X. Remember, salesman square bracket X is going to give me the values associated with this key. And the value associated with this key is nothing but a list. So it's giving me a list. So what is the max function doing in that list? Finding the maximum value. And there it's printing. I don't have, you could say the salesman is so and so and his sales is so and so. I'm just doing the basic display. Okay. So let's just Run the program. It's asking me for the value of N. Let's say I'm going to be entering 3 salesman details. First one's name is whatever is given there. Let me just try that only. Okay, Pia. And Pia's values are, now because it's an eval function, I'm supposed to be using the square brackets. So I write 6700, comma 4500, comma 8900, comma 9000. And I end the square bracket. So I've got the first name. Second name it's telling me, so I'm just entering the example's name, Rohan. And what is the sales made by him? 9,000, comma 9,100, comma 9,200, sorry, 9,200, comma 8800. So this is Rohan's sales made. The third salesman I'm writing is Tina. And what is the sales made by her is 4500, comma 5600, comma 4700, comma 7600. Okay, so what should it show me? It should show me that Pia's highest is 9,000, Rohan is 9,200, and Tina is 7,600. Okay, I've just made a mistake here instead of a comma. Okay, comma 4700, comma 7600. Okay, so can you see Pia 9,000, Rohan 9,200, and Tina 7,600? So this is how we go about with this question. Okay, let's look at another question now. Now this question says, write a program to read the student name and their marks in 5 subjects and store it in a dictionary where student name is the key and marks is the value. Something similar to the previous question. Previous question was salesman name and the sales made. Now it's the marks and this. And what are we supposed to be finding? But the name and percentage of the topper. Oh, among all these people, who's the highest scorer? Okay, no problem. Let me just copy basic things from there so I don't have to make much changes. Okay, so I'm just copying all this part, but now it's not a salesman, so I'm calling it student. Enter the student name. Okay, and instead of marks, what are we associating the students? I mean sales, we are associating the student with marks. Okay, eval again. So I say enter the marks of 5 subjects. Okay, and the user is going to be entering that, and that I'm going to be storing it in a dictionary. So the name of my dictionary is student, and the key is the name of the student, but the marks are his marks. Okay, fine. So with this I have created what do you say, I've created the dictionary. Now what do I want to do? I want to find out who's the highest. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a variable called highest, which is initially 0. Okay, that's let me call it HPERC. That's the highest percentage, which is initially 0. And I am having a variable called HName, which is initially an empty string. What's the role of these two variables? HPERC will finally store the highest percentage of the students, and HName will store that student's name. Okay, so now do I have to look through each and everybody's marks? Yes. So do I need to go through each and every element of the dictionary? Yes. So what do I do? For XIN and the name of the dictionary. What's the name of the dictionary? Student. Okay, for XIN student, I'm supposed to be getting the percentage of this each student, right? So I just write PERC is equal to sum in bracket student square bracket X. Now remember, student square bracket X will give me what? The value associated with that name, and the value is nothing but a list of marks. All those marks I'm adding it up and I'm dividing it by 5. That gives me my percentage, right? Or divide by 500 into 100, assuming the maximum marks of each subject is 100. Clear? Okay, and then what do? I got this child's percentage, the first child's percentage. I will compare if his percentage is greater than the so-called highest percentage. In the first comparison, obviously the first child's percentage, even if it's 10, is going to be greater than 0. So what happens is H percentage automatically becomes that child's percentage, and H name becomes that child's name. Isn't the name the key? So what is X doing in this loop? accepting all the keys, so I write X. Finally, I'm done with this. Once I'm done with the loop, now what will happen when I get into the second student's detail, I will find his percentage. I will check if his percentage was greater than the highest percentage that I previously assumed, which is the percentage of the first child. If so, his percentage becomes the highest percentage, and his name becomes the highest, the person with the highest percentage. Okay, and I say print. Now I'm just showing H name and HPERC. Okay, I'm not showing you, the whole message that the student with the highest percentages, that is left up to you. Is that clear? Okay, so let me just run this program. Okay, it's asking me for the value. I'm going to be entering the same things. So I have 3 elements. Okay, enter the student name, Pia. Pia is the first student. Enter the marks. Her marks are 67, 45, 89, 90, 55. Okay, the next student's name is Rohan, and his marks are 90, 91, 92. We know, I think Rohan is going to be the highest. Okay, 88, 68. That's Rohan's marks. Now the next student is Tina. So Tina, and marks for Tina are 45. You could have entered anything. Okay, I'm just entering this example so it's clear for us who's the top scorer. 76, 68. Okay, so I've entered the marks of Tina also, and can you see at the end it's saying Rohan and his percentage is 85.8. Is that clear? So I hope things are clear. Like, how do you go about working with examples of dictionary? How do you make use of dictionaries, and how do you manipulate on dictionaries? Is that clear? So when you do more sample questions, it will be more clear to you. Okay, let me take you to an output question. Okay, so this is the first output question that I'm going to have. It has a dictionary. For that, let me make use of my, okay, for that I have a dictionary fruits, which is currently empty. I'm going to be doing some manipulations here. Okay, so, or let me just do the working so that we don't get confused. So I'm going to do all the working here. Okay, so I have a dictionary called fruits, which is empty. Okay, so I have a dictionary called fruits, which is empty. Then I have a list called L1 with these values. Okay, no problem. I'm going to just bring it down there. Okay, now for X in L1, so what is X first going to take? The first element of L1, which is apple. Now it says if X in fruits, is apple already in fruits? No. So what does it say? Where will I go? To the else part? And it says fruit of X is equal to 1. That means you're introducing or adding an element to the dictionary called fruits. So that's the key. And what is the value associated with that key? The value associated with that key is going to be 1. Okay, go back to the loop. It takes the next fruit, banana. For X in fruit, is banana there in fruit? No. I again go to the else part, and it says add the next value to the list, to the dictionary. So banana gets added, and the value associated with banana is going to be now 1. Okay. Again, it came across apple. But remember, this is in small letters. So is there an apple existing there? No. So what will happen? Again, apple gets added with value 1. Okay, so because apple is a string, remember, it will be treated like this. I'm just showing you what happens in memory. Now, when it goes through the next element of the list, banana. Now, if X is banana in fruits, yeah, banana is already there in fruits. So what are you doing? You are going to fruits of banana. That means you're going to this key. And what are you doing to its value? You're just incrementing it by 1. So this becomes 2. Okay. Now the next function says, the next line says print ln of fruit. So how many fruits do you see here, or how many key value pairs do you see here? 3. And it says print fruit. So obviously this should be my answer. Okay, so let's just run the program. Okay, but these are all my workings, so I need to put it under comment statement so it doesn't obstruct the running of my program. Can you see it says 3, an apple 1, banana 2, an apple 1. That's exactly what we have got in our working as well. Okay, these are simple output questions with dictionary. Okay, let's look at another output. Okay, so let me just copy few things so that you know. So it has 3 dictionaries. One is box, one is jars, and one is crates. Box is an empty dictionary. Jars has 1 element in it. Crates has nothing in it. Okay, let's just execute this. What does this mean? I'm creating a key named as biscuit, and the value I'm assigning to it is 1. So the first key that gets created in box is biscuit, and the value associated with it is 1. Okay, fine. Then I'm creating another key named as cake, and value associated with it is 3. So I am having cake as my next key, and the value associated with it is 3. Then it says crates. So I'm creating a key called box in the dictionary called crates. Okay, so I'm going to be creating a key called box in the dictionary called crates. And what am I assigning to it? Box. Box is nothing but a dictionary. So whatever is the value of the dictionary called box gets assigned here. So in short, Control C, and I copy it here. Okay. Children, so this is a nested dictionary. Okay, so what is happening? You're creating a dictionary called crates. The first element in the dictionary is called box, and the value associated with this key called box is itself a dictionary. So I brought that whole thing here. Okay, then coming to the next thing that I need to do. It says I'm adding another key to crates called jars. So I'm adding another key to crates called jars. Okay. And what is the value associated with it? Jars, which is nothing but another dictionary. So basically it's creation of a nested dictionary. So, okay. Then it says print the length of crates box. Okay. Now remember this. It's not asking the length of crates. It's asking you for the length of crates box. So in box, in this key called box, how many elements are associated here? 2. So this print should give me 2. If it was print length of crates, crates also has 2 keys, 1 here and 1 here. So 2 key value pairs, so it's also going to give me 2. Now it says print crates. Print crates should be showing me something like this. Is that clear? Okay, so sorry. Let's just run the program and see what output I'm getting. Okay, can you see box with biscuit 1, cake 3, and jars with jam and 4? Is that clear? So small, tiny dictionary related output questions you should be able to handle. So I hope things are clear. Then if you practice more sample questions, the chapter will be thorough with you. Okay? Okay, bye. Thank you.